Hey, what's up guys? Guardian here, coming to you guys with a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing a collection video on my OTT collection. So Oracle Think Tank, this is going to be a bit strange for me because OTT was a clan that I invested into early this year. I think it was sometime around February. So I don't actually have a lot of nostalgic things with these cards, but of course some of these cards are from like the old generation of Vanguard. Like of course we see like CEO Amaterasu here and Silent Tom. So these do bring memories back from the old anime. But in terms of actually playing OTT, I've never actually played the clan before. So I'm actually really new to the clan. So of course, welcome arms would be appreciated. And yeah, I just thought it would be cool just to go through the OTT collection and just reminisce on some older cards that we know of. Without further ado, we'll go into it, and I'll try talk about as much of this as possible. So on the first page here, we of course have VBT01, and this was at the beginning of the standard format. And my God, does anyone remember how oppressive this deck was at the very start? Like, yeah, OTT was dominant, I think, for like half a year, and even then some in like I think the following year in 2019. OTT was just relevant for such a long time, and when the trial deck came out with the Mega stuff, with things like Rectangle Magus, it even got more of a power boost then. So OTT definitely made its mark in standard at the very early gates. So of course we have the infamous Imperial Daughter, and then we've got the classics of CEO Amaterasu and Silent Tom. I don't know if these cards are somewhat used today still. I think they are. I've actually seen some iterations of Tsukiyomi that use Imperial Daughter for like the soul charging ability and the stacking effect. And I think Silent Tom is somewhat used. I'm not too sure though. But yeah, these are some really cool cards. And also making like budget alternatives around CEO is actually pretty cool. But yeah, we'll move on to the next page. We've got got a lot of different stuff here. So Circle Magus was like the on ride grade one for the beginning of the game. Then we've got this guy, or this thing, I should say. Victorious Deer, like, my god. This card is still technically, I think, the win con of OTT today. Like, I think every deck is based around this. I'm not too sure if, like, Magus obviously doesn't use it, but yeah, any generic OTT deck, I can't see not using this, except for like when Susano comes out soon, next month. I think I've seen iterations of Susano that actually play Dia, so it is kind of cool to see that this card's still being played. But yeah, we all remember Dia turns were literally just a death sentence back in the day, and they still somewhat are to a certain extent. And then we have Promise Daughter down here, which this card's actually quite interesting right now because with retire decks and control decks being quite relevant right now, even things like MLB that have access to both Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark, retiring is actually relevant to keep into mind. So Promise Daughter has actually been seen play in the Susano builds, which is rather interesting. So whether if I play this or not, the thing is that retire-based strategies aren't really that relevant within my play group, I don't think. So I don't know if I'd actually play this or not, but if anything, I could see maybe like 2 or 3 of this being like a safe bet, so that's that. And then we have the Draw PG up here, of course still relevant today. We did have the Festival Collection come out recently, and I mean, it somewhat helped, but I mean, the PGs are still somewhat expensive and have a bit of a price tag attached to them. But yeah, we can only just hope that maybe that is given Bushiroad a bit more of an incentive that, reprints are good, but limited amount of reprints, they don't really do much in terms of the prices. So maybe that was a lesson learnt there. Then we just have a couple of the other grade 2s down here. I won't go into everything in super detail. Gemini is a really cool card. I really like this. I still like using this just to help generate resources back. So that's that. And then we just have a bunch of the commons from set 1 as well, I believe. This one was actually a pretty cool Vanguard booster. I remember my friend Stevo was using this in his early OTT builds because he actually used to play OTT back in the day at the beginning of Standard. I still believe he does play it, but not as much. But yeah, I remember him playing this, and it was a really, really cool card to make your Vanguard just very, very high power. So that's pretty cool. And then we have a good old chicken boy over here, Lookbird. So yeah, and then we have the triggers and the starters. I really love this artwork of Longines Magus. I am terrible with OTT names, by the way. I should clarify that now. I am terrible with pronouncing the names, but yeah, the Magus starter, pretty cool. I like this artwork more than the reprinted one that we got on the trial deck. But saying that, I actually liked the reprinted versions, well, the alternate art triggers that we got from the trial deck over these. Like, I actually don't like these triggers that much. They just look a bit too bland to me. But I don't know. Some people might like them, and that's fine. So then we're going to creep down here into the trial deck with the Hexagonal Magus. So this is going to be the trial deck of what you got for Misaki. And yeah, we've got like the holo version of Hexagonal down here. And then we've got like the common version, and then we've got all the other trial deck stuff, the 12k vanilla, or like basically people used to use this as like a ride target more or less, just because it was a good defensive option. But yeah, that saw some play. Of course, Rectangle Magus, still used today, I think. It's just such a solid card, and I don't know. Again, with Susano, I don't think Rectangle Magus is played from what I've seen. I actually saw one list where it played two of them. So yeah, it's still a pretty good usable card today. I actually use this in my Tsukiyomi deck a lot. I quite like the generic, like, checking the top of the deck, and then comboing that with Uraili to get the soul charges in for Tsukiyomi. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, we'll move on. Then we've got the rest of the trial deck, being the Core Magus. Of course, we've got the triple and the common there. And yeah, we'll just get into the trigger arts, which yeah, these ones I much more prefer than the originals. They just look so much more vibrant in their colors, and the artwork just more detail. Like this Psychic Bird, it looks really cool. So yeah, I really like that. And yeah, this is going to be set 3, so VBT03. We have the introduction of Pentagonal Magus, and we also had Coco return as well with Witches. It's a shame that Witches didn't really do too much as far as I'm aware. It's a cool concept of a deck, but yeah, I did play the Witch deck for a short while, but in comparison to other decks in general, I just didn't feel like it did much. But it was a fun sort of alternative deck. It wasn't that expensive at all, so it was a good budget alternative. And yeah, but we did have the Magus deck come out, of course, and with that we have one of the more popular Magus cards, being Tetra Magus. This card is just so good and generic that I think most OTT decks play it even today. Even Susano plays it. You know, I've seen plenty of lists that play the Tetra Magus, but yeah, I don't even think this got reprinted in the festival collection. I don't think, which is kind of weird because I don't know, like generically good cards like this that are able to stack your crits back on top of the deck, they're just solid, and I really think cards like this deserve reprints. But I don't know. I think at the moment, this is actually one of the pricier cards in the clan, as far as I'm aware. I'm actually not too sure how much it is. I think it's about 30. I want to say, like maybe €30. I think that was what it was when I checked it on Card Market, but I'm not 100% certain. It might be a bit cheaper, maybe around 20. But yeah, I'll have to double check that. But yeah, we just got a lot of the Witch cards here, and this one's a Magus one, Stellar Magus. And yeah, we just got a lot of commons. These ones are actually pretty relevant. The Choquette and the Fumino. These ones are the grade 3 searches, kind of, but they put the grade 3 on top of the deck instead of adding it to your hand like the grade 3 searches we have now. So it's still somewhat relevant because you could use that in combination with like Uraili to soul charge in a grade 3 early, which you can then trigger off your, you know, if you have a grade 3 and soul abilities earlier. So that's still somewhat relevant. I've actually seen these being played recently, so that's pretty cool. So we'll move on, and that is set 3, I think, finished. So we now have set 5, which of course brought back the really famous Tsukiyomi. Now, I actually got really lucky with Tsukiyomi because I managed to get like a complete playset of the Tsukiyomi package on eBay, and I got it for a fairly reasonable price, as reasonable as I was probably going to get it in terms of how expensive the cards are. But this was like the main thing for the collection I was trying to get, and I did get it eventually. I think it's been about 3 months now, I think, since I got them, or 2 months. But yeah, it's been a while, and I'm really happy to actually have them. And I've been playing the Tsukiyomi deck on and off recently. And at the very first, when I was playing Tsukiyomi, it was very out of my field because I'm so used to playing my Royal and Gold Paladin decks that it was a completely different play style and something to get used to. But as I play tested the deck more and got used to the cards and the clan as a whole, and I actually changed the build a fair bit as well in comparison to my first build. Yeah, it feels so much more smoother to me now in terms of playing it, and it's actually really fun to play. I actually quite like the Tsukiyomi deck. At first, I wasn't too sure about it; it felt rather clunky, but after getting used to it and fixing the build to my liking, it feels much better. So yeah. Then down here we have Evil Eye Princess Uraili, which I remember this card being used by Misaki from the anime along with Tsukiyomi, so it's really cool that they made her with Tsukiyomi as well. Shooting out the card from the opponent's hand. Always remember that, very classic scene. But yeah, Uraili is actually used quite a bit now. Like I said before, it's just a really cool way to be able to cheat in sort of cards into your soul, not only for generically soul charging purposes, but getting that grade 3 in your soul for those grade 3 skills where you need one in the soul to activate it to get a benefit is just it's just great. And things like Dia really benefit from that when you can get the skill off a lot of you can get the skill activated a lot earlier. So yeah, that's really cool. So Uraili, really cool card. And then we have what are these? We have Macaron, which was a Battle Sister. I think that used to be the 12k attacker back in the day, if I remember. And then we have Maiden of Libra, which I haven't really seen this being played that much, but it is what it is. Then we have Fusili Magus. This is actually a pretty cool support card for the Magus deck, giving a Vanguard 10k and a drive check, which is pretty cool. It boosted the deck up a little bit. Magus was always a deck that I was interested in when I saw it. I just thought the deck as a whole just looked fun to play, and this definitely added to it, but didn't really escalate it to the point of craziness, So that's that. And then over here we have Convoy Angel. Now, I bring this one up because I actually saw this being played in a Susano list recently, and I actually quite like it because you have a few discard cards in your deck to use their abilities, and when this card is discarded, you actually put it in your soul instead. So that's actually a pretty cool way for you to generate resources for the Soul Blast that Susano needs. So I quite like that. So I could see myself playing maybe one or two of these, but I'm not too sure yet. I'll have to actually, play the deck once it comes out next week. So yeah, we'll have to see. Then we have a Rabbit down here, White Hair of Inaba. So yeah, this is another sort of OG card, but I quite like it because it's more of a failsafe when you get really bad luck with your Tsukiyomi turns in terms of riding the pieces. So it's quite nice to have this as like a backup just in case to put behind the Vanguard. So that's pretty cool. But besides that, we have the rest of the rares. I think this is the last rare, the the on Vanguard skill, draw and discard that all the decks got. Still somewhat used. It's a nice option, and we just have the rest of the commons. I believe nothing here too much to talk about. I don't think. Panini Magus and Ravioli Magus are actually cards that I underestimated. I actually quite like these in the Magus deck. I did a deck profile on Magus recently, so these are actually quite nice cards to try out. And we have I think it was just the triggers left, right? Yeah. So we got the triggers reprinted from set 1, and of course we got the Ichibiyoshi starter for Tsukiyomi. And yeah, we also got the Battle Sister Ginger trigger, which I actually really like this trigger. I think it looks really, really cool and really beautiful. I like the colors on it. Really, really pops out. And the last thing, but not least, we have the different markers that have come out. I only picked up like the Misaki / OTT image markers that we've got. So, and I also got the reprinted starters down here for the festival collection, basically having the quick shield effect added to them. But that's pretty much it, and all this space back here will be for the Susano collection once that comes out. But yeah, that is essentially my OTT collection. Like I said, the main deck I've been using recently for OTT is Tsukiyomi. I just think it's really cool, and I really like the playstyle of it. Got used to it after, you know, a fair few more games. After like a month or so, I was really used to the deck. And Riley has just, you know, opened my eyes a lot more to the potential that the clan has. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just to take a look back at the OTT clan that we've had over for the past 2 years now. And yeah, like I said numerous times now, we have Susano coming out very soon, sometime next week, in September. So yeah, look forward to that. I will of course do a deck profile for it once I've got the deck built and I kind of know what I'm going to go with the build. I know there's like a couple of variations out there, but I think I'm going to go for like the simplistic, you know, 8 grid 3 lineup one instead of the heavy grid 3 count. But we will see. Like I said, I just want to play the deck and get used to it, and we'll do a profile on that when I am ready. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And like always, like the video if you liked it. Comment down below, tell me what you think, and I will catch you guys in the next video. This is Guardian, signing out.